Hello and welcome to section 2 on emotion for AP Psychology. We're looking at emotion and culture today, looking at the social cultural aspects that affect how we feel emotion and how people show emotion. So let's get into it. Culture shapes your emotions quite a bit. There's a theory that primary emotions are all the same, but it's the secondary emotions that really show that really kind of shape our emotions. Some emotions are more specific to certain cultures. There's things in other cultures that they feel that we don't have. One of my personal favorites is Schadenfreude, which is when you take joy in others' mystery or misery. And so if somebody messes up and they're really down and you're excited, that's Schadenfreude. Like when you're watching the end of a game, the other team kicking a field goal, and you just like miss it, miss it, miss it, miss it, and then they miss the field goal, and you go yes. And that kicker is, their heads down, they're crushed, and you feel all that joy. That's Schadenfreude. Or when you're watching the Olympic gymnastics or figure skating, you want them just to mess up, and they do, and you yes, get excited about that. That's Schadenfreude. My son and I, we watched like snowboarding, the half pipe, and whenever they mess up, we just yell Schadenfreude, which is just very fun and immature of us, but that's who I am. Hagai is a Japanese helpless anguish tinged with frustration. When you can't do anything and you're anxious and you're frustrated, you have Hagai. Yeah, okay. And then the meha meha, which is the Tahitian trembling sensation that you feel when ordinary categories of perception are suspended. When it's so beautiful outside at twilight and you have this sensation, you just, it's so good. That's meha meha. Maybe you have that, I'm not sure. All humans are capable of feeling primary emotions. Secondary emotions are the ones that are learned from our experience and from our culture. So we got Jim Carrey doing a happy dance here from Ace Ventura. Primary emotions act as the prototype for feelings. There are emotions that the kids show first, and kids are really good at showing emotions. Some psychologists actually think that all emotions are influenced by culture or context. They're basically that you learn them from others, that we see how to express the emotions, and kids and people do the same thing. That there is no pure emotion. It's completely shaped by society. Others believe that yes, there are pure emotions, and we have the coordinating face to go with it. Anger may be universal, but the way we experience it, the way that we express anger, kind of things like that, is based on our culture. Primary emotions that maybe if we look at, are there primary emotions from non-Western perspectives? Are there emotions in other places of the world that they feel, that they think is an integral part of their emotions that we don't have? It might include empathy. I mean, we have those, but they're not primary. They're not basically you're born with them. Envy, regret, greed, or love. The problem with all of these is they don't have the matching facial expression. They can't link them scientifically like you can the other ones. So it got Kit from Napoleon Dynamite. And so what I have these little gifts here to show you are the display rules, the social and cultural rules of how, when, and where a person may express emotion. So you can do the happy dance when you score a touchdown, or you can do the yes when you bowl a strike. Now, if you do that when you get a speeding ticket, the officer walks away and you go, yes, probably not the right way to do that, not the right context or setting. Smiles. People find out that Americans smile way too much. We was like Buddy the Elf. I just like smiling. It's what I'm good at. Germans don't smile as much as us, and they don't know why we smile all the time. They don't trust us because we're like always happy. This also governs our body language and how we express it through our bodies. You may be able to hide emotions from your teachers and your loved ones and your coaches, but your body gives it away. Your body language screams what you're really feeling. Now, if you do this, and you go to the University of Texas, this means, hook 'em horns, go horns, or if you're an Oklahoma fan, you go horns down. If you're at a rock concert, this is, woo, rock on. But if you do this in Italy, it's like putting a hex on someone. It's an Italian sign to tell a man that your woman's unfaithful. And it's like literally putting the hex on you. Ronnie James Dio invented the rock on because his grandma was Italian, and she all this stuff. That governs that. You can get another ones in the middle finger and other things like that. We're not going to talk about it. We're going to keep it clean. There's also, display rules of how you're supposed to behave at funerals. Like at funerals, you see people you haven't seen in a long time, but you can't show too much excitement. So you kind of do this like, it's good to see you. I wish it was under better circumstances. Whereas weddings, you can get all excited. People get a little loose, a little crazy. The emotional work is acting out an emotion we don't actually feel because we believe it's socially appropriate. the emotional work you can probably think of is if you ever got a really bad present. If you got a bad present and you have to pretend, oh, it's just what I wanted. Thank you so much. That's why little kids are more fun because they don't do that. They just go, socks. Uh, if you get a chance, this is Anchorman 2. I can't show it because of copyright rules, but where Brick Tamlin died and they have a funeral for Brick, so it shows how to behave at a funeral, but then Brick shows up at his own funeral. And then Jimmy Kimmel did a bunch of things on YouTube, terrible Christmas gifts. Check those out because it just shows kids losing their minds over bad gifts because they don't do the emotional work. They don't basically hide their emotions like adults do. They just are raw and primary emotions, and it's really funny and tortures kids. And then gender and emotion. If we polled all of you at home, most people would say that women are more emotional than men. That's a stereotype in this country. There's little evidence that shows that one sex feels emotion any different. In fact, we feel the same emotions. We just express them or show them differently based on our society, based on our culture and our social norms. The difference in genders is not how we feel them, but how we express them. North American women smile, they talk about emotions, they cry, they acknowledge their emotions more. North American men, you're not supposed to cry because you got to be tough. You got to be a tough guy. And really, men in the United States are allowed to show anger and a little bit of happiness, and that's about it. That's kind of what's accepted in this country. Men are more apt to show anger towards strangers. Road rage is usually men involved. Men and women are more likely to control their temper when they're angry at someone in a higher status of power. If they're around their boss, they'll control their temper. If there's someone lower than them, their kids or their dog or their class, their teaching, then they might not control their emotion like they should. So it's kind of a power struggle. They also do similar emotional work if this situation requires it. And so you have a picture here of the man and the woman watching a movie and she's crying and the guy's like, oh my gosh. Or doing the old, like, I just have allergies. I just have something in my eye. I don't know what's going on. I'm not a big Friends fan, but if you watch Friends, this is Rachel kissed someone and the girl's reaction to the kiss and then the guy's reaction. It's very funny. Check it out on YouTube. So I hope you learned something. If you need anything, any questions, let me know.